Does it say it's recording? Oh, it just
Now,
started. Okay.
yep. Okay. So I am Liza. I'm currently serving as FASTIA supervisor in the in residential education. So my first question for you, Thasia, is can you indicate why and how your interest in obstetrics and gynecology developed, and what have you done to demonstrate your commitment to the profession?
Okay, so my initial interest in obstetrics is actually rooted in the fact that I really love children and I actually wanted to be a pediatrician for a very long time. Especially after working like as a babysitter and as a teacher's assistant in a kindergarten class. And the idea of helping a person bring life into the world is honestly very magical to me. Just the idea of life and how it comes to be is very miraculous to me. And it's why I began considering things like midwifery and obstetrics. It was honestly only since I begun college that my interest in women's health grew. I myself have struggled with like gynecological issues, and I've had to learn to deal with them in my own way, whether that was through lifestyle changes or trying out natural remedies. And I've even supported my friends through their own women's health issues, and I've become a source of knowledge for some of them. Additionally, I've written papers for classes on the treatment of women, specifically Black women in healthcare. And something that really drives me is equity in healthcare and just ensuring that everyone is heard and everyone is cared for at the highest standard, not even necessarily at an equal standard, but at the highest standard. Yeah, but I've also gotten to experience how OBGYNs and midwives and nurses treat their patients and really care for them. So while I haven't really had as much experience as I would like to have, I will get there and I will search for those experiences throughout the rest of my time in college. But through those experiences of shadowing, I feel like I've learned a lot about the treatment of women, and I love it.
Awesome. The next question is indicate how and why you chose your major, and then how has this choice benefited you both personally and professionally?
Okay, so honestly, I chose my major in biomedical sciences just because it sounded like the best major to get into medical school. Um, I've always enjoyed science and I never thought it would give me a hard time because I knew I would learn a lot from the major and that I would enjoy what I've learned. Looking back though, I probably would have taken cell and molecular biology because I'm definitely more interested in biology and the human aspect of it and like how the body works, anatomy and physiology. But that being said, I don't regret my major choice because I feel like I've learned a lot. And I've stepped outside of my comfort zone since biomedical sciences is more chemistry intensive than I would have originally picked. Recently, however, I did add a minor in public health because this is something I've grown more and more interested in because I personally feel like public health is such an important part of healthcare and it needs to be incorporated more in a clinical setting in the sense that I don't only want to provide sickness care in the future, but I want to be able to reflect on a person's lifestyle and their living conditions and their community conditions and other aspects of their life in order to provide them with their own individualized care. So yeah, I feel like my major has definitely, and my minor choice is definitely going to help me in the future, and it's helped me grow personally and academically.
Awesome. So the next question is describe your ideal life in 10 years. What will you be doing? What will your personal life be like? And what will you still be working on?
Okay, so in 10 years, hopefully I will be changing people's lives in some way or another, whether that's through being a physician, through my personal life, because my goal is really just to be able to pass positivity on to others in any way that I can, whether that's through community service or through my career as a physician. where I'll be able to like treat ailments so that people can feel at least a little bit better. I want to be a person that people can seek comfort in supporting and who they know is a safe person for them to come to and to seek any kind of help. I'm not going to say that I'm completely set on being an OBGYN in the future, just because I want to keep an open mind in medical school and I want to excel wherever is best for me and wherever I'm most suited for and wherever I will be the most beneficial to others, whether that's obstetrics or family health or a number of other specialties. However, I do know that whatever I end up doing, I want to give and receive positivity, and I want to be able to continue improving myself, just so that I'm able to give the best of myself to whoever I treat or work with or interact with.
Great. The next question is, describe a time when something negative happened to you or you went through something difficult, but which in hindsight can be viewed positively. Explain why.
Okay, so honestly, one of the most negative things that has happened to me in my life is the fact that my father was imprisoned when I was very young. And therefore he wasn't around for a very large portion of my life. So dealing with the idea that one of the most important people in my life couldn't be around and couldn't be a source of support for me was something that I had to deal with every day. And being the eldest of 4 children, I had to grow up incredibly quickly to help support my mother and my siblings. I took on a really big role in my family, such as acting as a role model for my siblings and being a person that my parents could be proud of. So despite all the negativity that came from this part of my life, I was able to grow from it. And it's one of the factors that has made me really resilient, strong, and determined. And it's the reason that just always doing my best is a priority for me, whether that's academically or just being a good person in general, so that my siblings can follow in those footsteps and become the best version of themselves and can always rise above the negativity themselves.
Awesome. The next question is, how would you describe your leadership style? Describe an example of when you had to adjust your leadership style to address the needs of a group.
I would say that my leadership style is very collaborative. Like, I just want everyone to be able to be heard, and I want everyone to share their own opinions in the way, say, for example, the direction of a project needs to go. I'm very collaborative. I just want to make sure everyone is heard. A time that I've had to adjust my leadership style was actually very recently. I had to do a group project and I had to take on the role of like a more active leader. So I had to like adjust in the sense that instead of making sure everyone was heard and like everyone was accommodated, I had to like step up and be like, okay, so this is what needs to be done. Someone needs to be able to do this part, someone needs to be able to do this part, and someone needs to be able to do this part. But I feel like I was also able to just incorporate my normal leadership style into that because I really just heard what everyone was saying they were best at. So if someone said, no, I'm really good at statistics and making charts, I'm like, okay, great. So this would be the best part for you. Or if they're very good at research, okay, great. Then you'll do the research part of it. And yeah, I really had to step back and ensure that everyone was doing the things that suited them. But I also had to lay down the groundwork for what needed to be done. And then in the end, also just do my part and just make sure everyone was accommodated for, even though I was taking the lead.
Great. My next question for you is, I lost the question.
Number 6, I think.
But the next and final question is, which do you think is more important? Quality for a good health professional, to be an independent thinker or to be a team player?
So I definitely think that being a team player is more important, not that being an independent thinker is not. But I feel like in healthcare, just like how all the systems of the body kind of need to work together to keep a human functioning, healthcare providers also need to work together and collaborate to provide a holistic and whole treatment option for patients. The healthcare providers need to be able to draw on each other's knowledge to come up with the best and most innovative ways to care for their patients and ensure that they're receiving the best possible care. I feel like sometimes a lot of things are missed because a physician may be focused on one thing, whereas so many other things could be going wrong. So I feel like collaboration and like integrated like health clinics and things like that are very important. For example, I didn't work, I shadowed doctors in an integrative clinic where there was a naturopathic doctor, there were general practitioners, gynecologists, gastroenterologists, and many other doctors. And they would frequently talk to one another and say, hey, do you think this could be a possibility as well? And I feel like that's just really important in healthcare.
Awesome. Is that it?
Thank
Good job. When
you.
you're talking about, well, you can stop recording and then I'll tell you.